A healing touch. Pastor Ashley, in her sermon on Sunday, 6 February, on creation, pointed out two words in Genesis 1:26, which she considered very important. So here's the verse. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our own image, in our own likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, the livestock and all the wild animals and all the creatures that move along the ground." What are the two important words that she pointed out? Here they are. So that. Those two words also apply to Esther that I spoke about last week and to Job that I will cover today. God saw that Esther would become a beauty queen so that she would see that God's people, the Jews, would be saved just as she would be saved. It happened. The book after Esther is Job. God gave the fallen angel Satan permission to destroy Job's life, but not take his life. Why? So that Satan would see that Job would remain faithful to God and not curse God. God won and Satan lost. For us, we face difficult situations from time to time. We should think of Mark 5:36. Don't be afraid, just believe. That suggestion also applies to what I talked about with Esther and Job. Job was a wealthy man who was blameless and upright, always careful to avoid doing evil. We know that from Job 1, verse 1. As I said earlier, God gave Satan permission to torment Job, but forbid him to take Job's life. So what happens? In the course of one day, Job receives news that his 10 children, his livestock, and his servants have all died due to natural causes or of enemies in the place where they lived. Job tore his clothes, shaved his head, but he still blessed God in his prayers. What we may forget when we read Job is that Job's wife is also affected by these calamities. She encouraged her husband to curse God, give up his hard life, and die. Job refuses to do so and struggles to accept the circumstances of his life. The book of Job does not tell us if his wife received a healing touch from God. Then his 4 friends come and sit in silence with Job for 7 days out of respect for Job and his mourning. Then Job breaks the silence and curses the day that he was born and compares life to light and darkness. Job's 4 friends then give speeches, which I boil down to the following 4 points. 1. Job, in comforting other people, you never really understood their pain. 2. Job, what happened to you must be due to some sin you committed. 3. Job, you must have committed some evil to offend God. You must live a more blameless life. 4. Then to top it off, the last friend to speak says that Job deserves greater punishment than what he has received. I say, who wants friends who speak countless thoughts to a man who wants to die? What would you say to such friends? Well, let's listen to what Job said in response to their hurtful words. Job responds by growing so angry that he calls his friends worthless physicians who in their wisdom should remain silent instead of giving advice with lies. That's in Job 13, verse 4. Job's words are meaningful to us who love and serve God. Job thinks about man's relationship to God, and he knows he will be vindicated, and people can count on God's justice. Job then says something important. God is unseen. His ways are inscrutable and beyond human understanding, and God cannot be deceived. And then Job says he doesn't even understand himself well enough in these circumstances in his life to effectively pray and pray his dire situation to God. That's in Job 13. Job's friends thinks he is clever with his words, and then he shows an inappropriate fear of God. In response, Job, as stated in Job 16, verse 19, says that his witness is in heaven who will vouch for his innocence. Then in Job 19:25, these powerful words appear. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. Wow! Job could not understand the full meaning of what he said when what was remaining firm, this unwavering trust in God, would be praise and honor to a triune God. God finally interrupts the conversation between Job and his friends by speaking in a storm and demands Job to be brave and know Job knows little about creation and how much power God has in all circumstances. Job then acknowledges God's unlimited power, as we should, and the limitations of his own knowledge. Great words. Job's response pleases God, but God is upset with the four friends of Job. Job, in his firm relationship with God, intercedes on behalf of his friends, and God forgives them. The end of Job's story is that God restores Job's health, provides him with twice as much livestock and property, new children, and a long life of some 140 years. The book of Job calls us as Christians to trust in the Lord humbly, whether during pain, suffering, or agony. The Lord will sustain his people through it all for his purposes and glory. Job was humbled by the Lord when he revealed himself to Job. I close this weekly word with the words in Job 42, verses 1 through 6, which are very important. So listen up. Job replied to God, I know that you can do anything and that no one can stop you. You asked who it is who has so foolishly denied your providence. It is I. I was talking about things I knew nothing about and did not understand, things far too wonderful for me. You said, listen, and I will speak. Let me put the questions to you. See if you can answer them. But now I say, I had heard about you before, but now I have seen you, and I loathe myself and repent in dust and ashes. As Job humbled himself, he was healed by God. As Mark said, and what Job showed us in a similar words, don't be afraid, just believe. Next week, 2 stories of a healing touch from the New Testament. God bless you and have a good week.